and welcome to FECCLES on Love. And as it is the start of the festival, welcome to the Edinburgh Fringe, the only place in the world where free shows are worth more than the entry price, and a paid venue can leave you upset, confused, and penniless. Please put your phones on silent, and we would like to remind you that we are a free show and every member of our cast and crew is up here off their own back. So please, if you enjoy any small part in this wonderfully varied cavalcade of comedic monologues, consider leaving a donation in the hat at the end. This show does feature some strong language and mild adult themes. Any complaints, praise or feedback should be noted down and firmly attached to a modest monetary donation to leave in the hat at the end. If you must leave during the performance, I have heard £20 notes are particularly quiet, so let's not be selfish. Love! However you've experienced it in your life, you're bound to share many aspects of love with everyone you know. The happiness, joy, familiarity, community, hilarity and warmth. Just as much as I'm sure you know the pain, sadness, despair, coldness and feeling of utter loss. Still, we must pick ourselves up and carry on. Today we shall be presenting to you a marvellous myriad of monologues tackling this nebulous theme, featuring everything from drama to apathy, to name but a few delicacies on this lunchtime menu. We're immensely excited you're here to join us on this journey, and we hope to leave you utterly spent with satisfaction. If buses came equipped with seatbelts, we would advise you fasten them as we delve into the ever-fascinating, eternally frustrating mystery of the heart. We begin with an experience all too familiar to every one of us.
The route is always so packed. The top deck is often my best chance of finding some space. I'm always having my leg rubbed against the window by some large, abnormal-smelling guy. Worse, I'm having my head pounded by some girl who obviously doesn't know how to use her headphones for her so-called music. And over there, that young mother obviously doesn't care that her children are defacing the bus. Yes, you. And that one's pouring his drink on the seat. She's literally watching her son get away with vandalism. Hate parents who take their children on the bus. Why anyone would subject their offspring to these conditions, I have no idea. Just made eye contact with that chav sitting at the back. I hope he isn't thinking I chose to look at him. Why would I choose to look at him? He looks so unpleasant. God, he's getting up. God. Oh God, he's coming this way. Oh God. You can't just kill me here. This is public transport! You can't just kill me here! He's going downstairs! This is his stop. Oh, thank God. Oh, well, of course he would live here. Look at this neighbourhood. It's an absolute dump. Hello. It's her. She's getting on the bus. Brunette with the duffel coat. She always comes upstairs. The princess in her tower, overlooking the world below. Oh, and of course she would live here. The rose among the thorns, the diamond in the rough. And the only free seat is the one next to me. So rarely does she sit there. So rarely do I get to fill my senses with the scent of her lavender perfumed hair. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. If she caught me staring, she would think I was a freak. She'd never want to catch this bus again. She looked at me. She looked at me. And she smiled. She smiles at me and recognises me for doing so. Does she feel the same way about me that I do about her? Oh, lavender. Never change your personal hygiene regime, my brunette beauty. Maybe I should just tell her how beautiful she is. No. She probably knows how beautiful she is already. I'll just say hello. Nicely. Hello. Where are you going? No. Where are you going? No, don't. Where are you going? You get off in town for a custard coffee and a blueberry muffin. Why are you getting off now? It's me. I scared her off. Stupid! Why did I say hi? I'll follow her. I'll follow her immediately, and let her know how I feel. But if I follow her downstairs, then I'll go to my seat. There are no other seats. Just a spot next to Mr. Goldilocks over there, and that woman at the back with the hairy top lip. No. Oh no! She's getting off the bus! We're moving away! I'll never see her again! God! If only all these damn people weren't here! People ruin everything! You weirdos! I think I'll just sit downstairs.
I'm attached to you, captivated by, crazy about you. I am enamored. Charmed by, fascinated with, fond of you. I canonize you. I care for, cherish, I choose you. I deify, delight in, and dote on you. I esteem, exalt, have fallen for you. I am head over heels for you. I go for, glorify, have affection for you. I have it bad for you. I hold you dear. I hold you high. I idolize you. I like you very much. I long for and have lost my heart to you. Well, thrive with, treasure, venerate, and worship you. But can't actually say I love you. Sorry.
Well done to both our starting acts. Very entertaining, dazzling, absorbing, spicy, ludicrous, and piquant. Also. As you may know, we are a part of the Laughing Horse Free Festival. Please help yourself, please. And on the subject of horses, the most romantically inclined of all equine mammals, let's welcome our next piece.
My mother was a beauty, and my father was a stud. And believe me, because I mean literally, my father was, and still is a horse. I mean, they say he was that hiding with mountains, had a hoof love, which usually ends up with someone killed, but rest assured, there were no animals harmed in the making of these monologues. Instead, the early years of my parents' stable relationship were made up of insane amounts of awkwardness and lots of just about everyone, really. It was all, welcome to the neighbourhood, you can have tea sometime, or crumpets and other human things, join us. Just you. No, not your horse husband. But my parents were unfazed, it's for the best, they kept their cool. My father had to convince his own parents that not all humans were horrible creatures in order to work animals to death. That humans were good creatures, creatures worth loving, and that it could all work out. And frankly, if I say so myself, I do believe that I prove the nay, saith wrong. That does not, however, excuse the fact of, well, me. I've been through a lot of shit to be where I am today, standing proudly on my 4 legs. I mean, do you know how embarrassing it is to be in a school play and play the role of a horse? As if I wasn't bully enough, I hated nativity plays. There's not even a horse in there. I've checked it in the Bible. And it's alright for the kid who plays a tree, but he isn't a tree. I mean, people say, oh, have we good enough for you horse folk? Next thing you know, we'll be taking our jobs, and then, oh, where will the economy go? Well, I don't know. I'm not the one crashing it. And then you get idiots who say, if you've got it, flaunt it. What does that even mean? It's like they say that most of my body is composed of booty. I can't even tell you how embarrassing those teenagers were. I mean, what are you doing after school? Oh, I'm going to get drafted. That's what my father did. Oh, you're joining the army, are you? Well, that's something great for, I don't know, the feet. You used to do for our country. Actually, my father was a draft horse for a while. Oh, of course, that explains everything. Of course, how silly of me. Yes, but he's a salesman now. He's the best one the company's ever had. Oh, really? How's he done it? Well, it was easy. It turns out the only better slogan than I'm on a horse is I am the horse. Take success out of the equation. But while they found love, I do believe that they did so at the expense of my chances to do so. A few nights ago, I eavesdropped on my parents for a crack at the door. My father was sitting majestically on the sofa, sipping a cup of tea, reading a newspaper, monocle perched on his left eye. He's a left-eyed reader. Anyway, my mother was sat next to him, braiding and unbraiding his glorious golden mane. Mine was never that good. My mother was sniffing, crying, it might have been hay fever, but she said some words. He's so sad, Henry. I don't know what to tell him. My father just put down his newspaper and said, tell him there's more fish in the sea. My name was Thomas Walker, and that was Stable Relationship. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Azarius the Great, and I... Goodness, what beautiful women they are in the audience here tonight. Permit me to dazzle you, lovely people. rabbits, but is of course immensely lucky. So, it is evident to me that you are all quivering in your seats, asking yourselves, why is Azarius here? Do not allow yourselves to be intimidated, my friends. Although I am immersed in the glory and splendor of magic, do not fear me. I am here today to talk about love. My family wisely knew to nurture the talents of a true genius, and at birthdays and Christmases gifted me with magic sets. Card magic, coin magic, wand magic. Soon these were all mastered by my young expert mind. Never before had such an extraordinary child walked the face of the earth, and as I grew, so too did my repertoire. When I successfully gave my caterpillar wings after weeks of patient care, I knew I was a wizard. I never became interested in women until I landed my first job touring with a travelling circus. Magic, which up until then had been my sole mistress, became my tool with which to ensnare these beautiful creatures. The first woman I ever approached was named Yasmin. For all my magnificence, confidence failed me, and I spent hours unable to speak to her. Eventually, my immense handsomeness defeated my sudden shyness, and she approached me first. She asked me how I became a magician. Of course, her ignorance cannot be helped. I explained to her how the magic coursed through my veins. Being naturally inclined to what has been termed as showing off, I offered to give her a demonstration. I produced a pen and began passing it between my hands before displaying that it had vanished. Reaching towards her, I intended to produce the coin from behind her ear, but, well, my hand slipped, bringing the coin back from the ether, and the coin inexplicably became wedged inside her ear. I was a young man, floundering in the art of love. Of course there would be some mistakes along the way, you understand. But I bounced back. My attention was soon diverted by Sophie, who worked in my favourite coffee shop. Learning from my previous mistakes, I approached her first. Sadly, she was the one afflicted with shyness. She declined my offer of a date, but I kept after her in order to show her that she was worthy. As the months passed, she grew more uncomfortable at my romantic gestures, until one day I discovered that she had left her job. I was devastated by my own curse of virile good looks. It was a low point. But how life favours a wizard. One night, on entering a bar, I spotted her, almost instantly, surrounded by a small gathering of friends. As I weaved my way towards her, she spotted me, and her eyes bulged in wonder. She made some attempts to stand and greet me, but I integrated myself into the group without need for her concern. Her friends, in a state of considerable drunkenness, clamoured to see the powers of which Sophie had apparently spoken. Sweet girl, I complied. Levitation is always a powerful way to impress a lady. I pulled Sophie into the middle of the room and I spread my hands. Concentration is the key to levitation. I may not have been as concentrated as I should have been. As her feet left the ground, our eyes met so passionately that I started for a kiss. I'd like it to be made known that I have levitated far more complex things than a woman before. But, at any rate, it wasn't my best day for levitation. She ended up sprawled on the table of drinks, and I found that I was no longer welcome in that establishment, or her heart. I asked myself, day and night, when will I ever find love? When will someone recognize my potential! I spent weeks adrift in the confines of sorrow. My world was black and I saw no end. Then, there was Lola. Now I know what you're thinking. How could a woman save you from despair, great Azarius? Ladies and gentlemen, I was in love. Wholeheartedly and unconditionally. Anything she would have asked, I would have done. No one ever told me that sometimes women ask for some ridiculous things. One more, over a romantic mug of coffee. She asked me if I would perform the famous Saurian half trick with her as my assistant. And, well, bedazzled by affection, I lost track of the boxes I was shifting, and is there any greater horror than hearing your lover scream? But the injury's not fatal, and I hear she's coming along quite nicely, all things considered. Though, of course, there was some unpleasantness with the emergency services, and my saw was sadly confiscated. I am now experiencing my first taste of the prison system. And although, of course, I could use my magic to break through these bars and handcuffs, I have no intention to. Oh no. For you see, while at first I panicked and railed against the turns my life has taken me, now I see why I am here. My solicitor. She has the beauty of a meadow in spring and the bubbling personality of a freshly brewed cauldron. I was sent here to find her and make her my own. With my startlingly handsome good looks and the magical display I am planning, I intend to marry her before the year is out. This lonely wizard has finally found his witch.
All men are pigs. That Ken is what? Oh, it's a bloody sweetheart, that one. Mac, Tolliday was walking through the park when some bloke comes up to us. And right, this is getting Mary, thinks there's all that. Looking at my tits. Oh, Mac is having none of that. So he goes for the fella, like a bat of hell he were. Oh, I were right proud. He'd do anything for me. You know, we were in a pub last night. Me with my pad, a pack of crisps, and he leans into me with his big, dark eyes, and he gives me a proper wet kiss. Disgusting, I know, but I do love him. Soppy bastard. Eyeball for me, the eyes. Big, dark eyes, like good pie. Just one look at my legs turn to jelly. So I first noticed about Mark Kenny. There he was, standing all low, hair shining through him like the shelter. He couldn't take his eyes off me, so I knew a man. Mum says he's a dangerous breed, but show him love, we treat or two. Big fella's harmless. What Mum know? She's more of a cat person.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to speak about this weighty issue in Parliament today. I know that certain members thought I'd better take my radical ideas elsewhere, and it's for my good friend, the Mayor of London, who was so shocked that he accosted me in Parliament Square with such intensity that I could hardly see through his charismatic spittle. But there it is. I'm here today for love, Mr. Speaker. Love. With the need to go back to basics, or at least see if we have the ability to do that. However, my fundamental issue, being in house today, is this. Our society is so suspicious that we no longer trust love or any anger, political, satirical, poetical, school-critical, stand-off-critical, neutral, futile, otherwise that people take on it. Take a constituent friend of mine, for instance. I shall not name him, so do not I should start a press investigation. Since the last time with the bananas. My right enormous friend was accused of being a stalker. Habit, amongst other things, when truthfully all he was guilty of was being too open about being too head over heels in love with a girl who was not one of my constituents. Some argued that he brought this punishment upon himself, being seen following her across London one day and changing 4 horses in the process. Then she came home that evening to find him down on one knee in her bedroom, which was completely filled with bouquets of carnations, which immediately brought around a hitherto unforeseen allergic reaction, and shortly afterwards an unforeseen legal reaction. But that being said, if he'd stepped back and let nature take its course, he'd been condemned as weak, standoffish, a notorious player at the big oboe. No manhood, no backbone, and no ability to seize the day. As it stands, he's condemned to be lonely for the foreseeable future. Considered this seems rather futile of me to bring this issue of love and the suspicion it now entails to the house, as no government has ever regulated love. Imagine it, the Love Regulation Act of 2013, where children generations down the line will learn it from history lessons. When approached with loving another individual, will love the latter back, as he/she grows a wholehearted criminal nature. It would be the final straw. The public would snap. It would spark the revolution that the tolerant, tea-drunk British pride themselves of never having carried out. The love revolution we would call it. But forgive me, given my reputation in the house as a rather moving and eloquent orator, it seems rather remiss of me to waste part of my time going off on tangents. My point of being in the house is that the government has in fact thought of suspicion of love for one another. If we dismiss love as not to be trusted, does that leave us in a post-love age, my honourable friends? And if that be the case, and one cannot love the latter for the latter's own sake, but only for the bonus, the banter, the fixing, the bread money, the babies, the bananas, oh, bad memories, sorry. For all the latter might provide. And was my ex-husband correct in saying that there is no love left in this world? And if that be the case, Mrs. Speaker, my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, will forgive me. Our friend, Prime Minister, that night in the Savoy, remember? Will forgive me if I ask why you were almost unconsently vacant, and why the Chancellor's fees. Oh, Deputy Prime Minister, have one member has been moved by my speech. There's no need to take on so. I'm sure now that I've presented this issue to Parliament, there should be a draft legislation within a year. No need to cry in the front benches. Oh, you missed EastEnders last night. Yes, I see a lovely programme. Oh, my speech reminded the House of it. That's to know, Mr. Speaker. To know.
Thank you, performers, for that wonderful selection, ending with a nice, serious, political note, which makes it only fitting that our next pieces start on a somewhat politically incorrect note. And so, I would... Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Hello? Why not ring it work? No, I haven't seen it. Why would I know where it is? Okay. Okay. No? Yeah, I'll pick some up on my way back home. I thought your mother was coming over tomorrow. No, I'm not basing my voice. No, I'm just trying. Listen, I'm just trying to. Would you please just listen? Anyway, on to our next pieces. Enjoy.
After innumerable failures of its connecting woman, I found her. A lonely figure, one one to whom I believed I could relate. She expressed delight at having her dainty knuckles consumed by my plump lips in a luxurious hand kiss. The most polite of romantic gestures. She would display her affection, lounging all over me, sleeping in my arms. It stirred very little music in me. I found that she did nothing to rouse my passions. I had none of the pleasure one would believe a true gentleman deserved. One day, when my world was particularly black, I was running to catch a bus to attend a social engagement at the manor house of one of my best friends. I was obligated to appear with my wretched girlfriend, who begged me in her sickly way to attend. I had just missed the bus when I tripped and fell flat on my face. I felt myself lifted to my feet by a great, benevolent force, and I turned my eyes to perceive the most endlessly fascinating creature I have ever beheld. This harrigan of a man discoursed with me a little while as we waited for the next bus. Before long, he mentioned his love of the musical Singing in the Rain. The clouds of blackness that had laid upon my heart began to lift, cast off by the perfect cadence of this extraordinary man. My saviour struck up the Act One finale, and I joined in, with a voice I had never fully unleashed before, semi-operatic, beautifully loud. I never wanted the bus to arrive. I was enraptured. However, the bus came and carried me off toward the manse. It was elaborately bedecked with marble pillars and chandeliers. In the centre of the room stood proudly a painstakingly crafted giant glass sculpture of Venus. All asked what my lackluster girlfriend had gotten to, but I did not care to answer them, searching around instead for some bars of song to sing. Then she strode in with a discordant, haggard aspect. I forced her aside into another room. I went along with her advances, as any true gentleman would, but the only music she could produce in me was but a limp and flat fart compared with the feelings I had experienced with the man at the bus stop. Soon, my rage overtook me. With a great sweep of my conductor's arms, I catapulted her swiftly onto the mantelpiece, whereupon she lay, drawn out and broken, weeping tears of pain. With my newfound vocal talents, I spelled out every one of her flaws. I was destroying her beautifully. The thoughts of my rendezvous with the man at the bus stop soon made my voice bellow, blasting the air with its terrible power as I ruptured her eardrums. I experienced a personal ecstasy so wondrous and joyous that finally, eventually, sumptuously, gorgeously, I reached the climax of my all-consuming song. I left her there as I reveled in the newfound bliss of my melody. I strode out into the main hall. The music drifting over the crowd was, in that fated moment, my favourite song from Singing in the Rain, the eponymous Act One finale. I swelled and felt my power rise within me. Semi-operatically with all my might, statues fell from their plinths, the pillars began to crack and crumble, and as my ecstasy mounted to a height previously unimagined by mankind, singing in the rain, just singing in the rain, what a glorious feeling! The glass from the chandeliers erupted all over the crowd, blinding them, slicing them, penetrating them. glass penis in the middle shattered as I released the last of my voice across the room. The falling of debris and percussion of frantically escaping feet served as a desperate applause. The curtains dropped as I bowed out.
I am now going to read you a poem entitled Paradise Misplaced, from my first collection of verse, The Lying Muse of Greenwich, currently unpublished. This poem concerns a young man who I used to know, and my thoughts and feelings surrounding his sudden disappearance over months ago today. Please note, I may take pauses for emphasis, so please do not pause if there is a pause, as you will spoil the flow of my heart. You may clap when I say you may clap. I forgot my sister's birthday, but I can't forget you. And how thou hast torn my frail heart into two. God could not have passed me down such a torture, and hell's hot fires could never be such a scorcher. You took off from me without any warning, so I composed this verse of unparalleled beauty. Without thee, I boil in broth of sorrowful dreams, with anger and hate, and the tomato of creams, salt in my wounds and holes in my eyes, where beef stock tears age, wither, and despise. Chopping onions of uncertainty with a knife slips and cuts, pouring blood, draining passion and lust. Yet, for thee, my blood sweets the soup of despair, for I'll only stop bleeding when you come back. I recall well the eve on which we first met, and the feeling I had, oh, I'll never forget. Cupid never shot an arrow so sharp as he plucked the music out of thine voice like a harp. And to this day, I will never know how any goatee can compare to that. 15 years my junior, yet our love groweth great, brought there together by the warm hug of fate. Our love soon shone forth without any defect. Our moments together were oh so perfect. With you, I was wet with joy, like a seal, and could have swum clean through any ordeal. So, connected by you, I picked up my quill and attempted to paint you in words that would thrill. I wrote of your beauty, your princely delights, and of the pleasure you gave me on those hot summer nights. Of my stallion, my Lancelot, my albino Adonis, and how you went like a steam train at your fairy tale goddess. Oh! Sorry. I sat you down one night to read you my book of all the verse from your aura, which I took. In a few hours I could perfectly see how shocked you were by my dexterity. I could perfectly tell from your tears how moved you were then. You said you never need hear my poetry again. Oh, you who tried to spare me such labor. But it was all you, my dear, my muse. And now, your absence wells up at me, like a dog, terrier,
raising me, pressing this timid mock, licked by despair and flagellated by pain. I sang out for you again and again. I found your address. I posted my verse, but your lack of response only made things seem worse. Romance! Ah! No thanks, I am done. I am Medea now to your puny Jason. I've slaughtered all my children. I find written books. Love worthy of Venus, which thou hast forsook. And now love is just a word on a plate, served up for me to interrogate. Home I can owe. The violent V, bookended with indifference to the L and the E. But I wrote it out clearly. No matter how hard I try, I just can't spell out love with you and I.
Deep affection or severe attachment, if not abstract, perhaps something more material. Fairy tale chocolate and flowers, cheap wine and walks in the park. So cliche after all, too. I see old couples around in public, and I think to myself, why should they be happy? If anything, I'm more likely to throw rocks at them than appreciate what they have. A longing for attachment. An end to a loneliness. I enjoy the companionship of cats and dogs, so what does that say about me? Maybe it's the self-satisfaction of finding a partner on whom you can rely on completely. But then again, people are stupid, conceited, and when left alone, quite smelly. Love is just a word. Are words empty without their context? Does the word love have some specific Boston cream filling that sets itself apart from its empty literary rhythm? Never was that good in English. Why are some afraid of it? Why do some hesitate to say it? Why do some crave love? Like I crave cigarettes and caffeine. Nervous, that's right. Not physical. Abstract. Idealism. Pursue the impossible. Can love be attained? If we believe it to be something so ideal, why does everyone seek perfection when it doesn't exist? If love is so perfect, then surely it doesn't exist. Well, that's not serious. People are always so unrealistic about their lives. Some just dream of breakfast in Scotland with their beloved. I just dream of Scotch. Why does love such a... Why is it such a big deal? It's something so ideal. It's surely just a waste of time. Why am I so annoyed with this question? I'm just squabbling to myself. Wait. I remember. Montgomery left me last week, didn't he? Really hates Scotch.
I have known this happy couple, this lovely couple, for a very long time now. Well, Jake anyway. Suffice it to say, I have seen them through better and through worse. She's better and he's worse. Anyway, this makes me the best man to give the best man speech. So, here goes. Hold on. Bear with me. Alright. I'll try and make this as quick and painless as possible. Like pulling off a plaster, or waxing, a subject which Jake here knows only too much about. Grown back yet, mate? No? Pity. Let us begin with John and she. Thank you for allowing your stunning daughter to marry my best friend, with not a care for his enormous bank balance. And I also want to say a word about Jake's parents, Bill and Daphne, who let me stay over every evening for over a decade. You are saints to have put up with our fist fights, wrestling matches, melted toy soldiers, and, of course, dealing with Jake's pornography addiction. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Or what's left of it. And now we come to the bride and groom. The beautiful Sarah. If you ever need anything, I'm your man. So there's no getting rid of me that easily. Even in your hotel room all the way out in Megaloof, I hope you'll be thinking of me. That sounded less creepy in my head, I promise. Oh, Sarah, do you remember that time when it was dark and it was raining and the sunroof wouldn't close, so we parked under the tree, moved to the back seat. You fell asleep on my arm. You were so tired, but Jake didn't want to leave the club. Did you, Jakey? What was her name that time? Amanda, wasn't it? No, it was Lauren that time. But that's all bridge under the water. Sorry, Sarah. Lovely, lovely Sarah, with the best taste in music out of all of you, Jake very much included. When I first met you, Sarah, I was more than impressed. Remember, I introduced you to my buddy here. Because, well, little did I know that 2 years further on, I'd be making your best man speech. But I'm not bitter or anything. I don't know how you managed this one, Jakey. Let's be honest, you were a bit of a mess when I introduced you to her. You were all mopey over that one girl. What was her name? Sandra or something. How many girls ago was that? You're a creep. You're a romantically inept little I'll start again. Git. Idiot. Cheat. Jake! You have been my best friend for 20 years. Although we hated each other in primary school. Something to do with a green crayon, I think. Since then, you have firmly attached yourself to me like a leech. I've seen you in various states of sobriety and undress, not always in the order you'd assume. It is customary, I believe, to give the happy couple a couple of bits of advice. So here goes. Jake, you are one seriously lucky guy. Don't fuck it up. Just don't. You need to tell her every day how brilliant she is at everything. And everything. No exceptions. Sarah, although you can do so much better, I wish you all the best. May your honeymoon last forever and Jake not let you down. Though I do just have to say, Sarah Barry is nowhere near as interesting as Sarah Antoinez. But I'll just leave that there. So, ladies and gentlemen, raise your glasses. This counts. To my oldest friend Jake and my newest friend Sarah. If she ever changes her mind, she knows where to find me. Hang on, wait a second. I'm sorry, but I just have to ask. Sarah, why? I mean, I've known him a good few years now. I've kept all his dirty little secrets, and I just don't get it. He's a prick. There's no nicer way of saying it, and believe me, I've tried. I know that old idiot, if you can't say anything nice, shut your pie. Well, it's been shut a good few years now. Not even the tastiest of pies has passed through this barrier. But the thing is, now I'm really fucking hungry, and you are the sweetest of all the pies. Sarah, I know you've married him already, but we weren't allowed to drink during the wedding, and... shut up, Jake! Keep quiet! You're going to end up embarrassing yourself in front of all these lovely people. I'll see myself. I said I'd see myself out.
When you break up with someone that you really cared about, we all go through the same emotions. The denial, the hysteria, the hatred, all of it. But eventually when you get to the acceptance part, the birds begin to sing again. You smile, and you don't expect to, and you find yourself generally carefree in the room, thinking about the possibility. Yep, life is good. And then you see him. Shit. You didn't expect this to happen. You kind of forgot it even existed. So, in those first few moments before your paths inevitably cross, every possibility of what could happen goes through your head. I think everyone's first instinct is mostly the same. Hiding.
out of it looking like a complete and utter fool. You think about playing dumb and pretending like you can have a normal conversation with him, like he's just a friend. But let's be honest, your brain's going a mile a minute. Nothing you say to him. Hey! Oh, it's been so long! I've been great. I've been having the best life ever. I've been thinking about you at all. Because you really didn't break my heart. And I didn't cry myself to sleep last night while trying to smell it on one of your old t-shirts and singing, "Baby, can I hold you tonight?" Not at all. Those are the thoughts that make you panic. The ones where you come out of it looking like a total fool. Your brain's not all bad. For instance, hey, how's it going? You feel a bit mean about it, but of course too good not to indulge in just a little bit. My favourite fancy by far is the rejection fancy. It goes like this. You're walking down the street. You're looking good, feeling great. And when you see you barely swear with a second glance. And you see you too. You can see you're looking good, feeling great, and he comes up to you. "I've made a horrible mistake," he says. "You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Please take me back. Save me from this black hole of despair and make my life wonderful and worth living again." And you look at him. You look at how desperate he seems, and proudly and defiantly you tell him, "No!" The smile on your face is gigantic, and you raise your hands into the air in triumph because you've just experienced the single greatest moment possible after any breakup. But as much as you're smiling, it's all still in your head. In reality, you're still in the middle of the street and you're about to cross paths. You ask yourself, do any of these possibilities even matter? Do we feel less scared? Do we feel that in need of revenge? Life's been great since your breakup, and in the grand scheme of things, you know. The walking away is the best thing you could possibly do, and for any of all those fantasies whose hope of ever being played out, you find who's decided for the best too.
Thank you very much for sharing with us a very entertaining view on Love's End. That being said, we must all now move on, as we've come to the end of this afternoon's performance. I'd like to ask you to join me in a round of applause for all our performers and writers. You've been watching FECCLES on Love, a comprehensive performance by the Minimalist Society. The cast over here to Helen S. Magnified by Oliver Hay, Tom Walker, Michael Thorne, Alan Sturrock, Luciana, Christopher Cutting, Lecturer Strauss, Wild Lodge, Alexander Carly, Christy Sims, Ivy Sitch, Special thanks to Chris Stanley, James Powell, Carlos Smith, Liv Field, and Joanne Nicholson, the Priestess Philosopher of Quality. The show was produced by Kim Evans, Helen S. and produced by Anna Sturrock, with Chris Mack, Michael Thorne, Helen S. You've been a wonderful audience. If all this talk of romance has led you to fall in love with at least some of us, we would be happy if you'd stop by again tomorrow and bring some friends. At the same time, 12:30 here on the comedy bus. Please do consider leaving donations in the buckets to support our dedicated volunteer cast and crew. As this has been a free Festival Break production. Thank you.
Venu de la verrerie, toujours la vérité, et ce marbre seul dans ses lignes biscuitées. Par terre, étendue, la girouette boule de girofle.